Why do drug residues occur? The most common reasons for violative drug residues are 1. The use of veterinary drugs in an extra-label manner outside of a VCPR, and 2. Lack of proper animal identification and record keeping. There are very few drug products on the market for egg-laying hens in non-commercial settings. Most of the FDA-approved medications for laying hens are designed to meet the needs of large-scale operations. Therefore, the dosing instructions may not be suitable for smaller flocks kept in free-range systems. Another industry-specific concern would be the use of broiler medications for layers and vice versa, as the withdrawal times may not be appropriate for the other production class. What are some preventative practices that can be in place to avoid drug residues?
Best thing you can do, and we do this at our research farm, is get yourself a calendar. Because when you're mixing drugs and reading labels and you got more than one thing going, all of us tend to forget how many days it's been, what the concentration was. I like to keep a calendar to give the concentration right when it's supposed to come off, so you mark it well. You can switch them, and then it also creates a record so that next time you can quickly find the right concentration, find out how long you used it the last time, check your instructions, and it makes it a lot smoother, and it really decreases the mistakes a lot. So, I say that all the time, the small flocks especially, you got to collect data and you've got to have a calendar. I always ask people, how do you even know your birds are sick? How much are they eating a day? And most people can't tell me. When I'm sick, that's the first thing I do is I quit eating. And so keeping those records is very, very important. So write things down, keep them on a calendar, and you'll do a lot better. The industry, large commercial industry, most of them, all of them I would say, would have a consultant veterinarian or an employee veterinarian who would take care of their use of drugs and things in their flocks. And a lot of it's because they want to make sure they have precise treatment, and this is not inexpensive when you have millions of birds. It's going to cost a lot of money to use an antibiotic. People tend to forget that. They think they use a lot of antibiotics simply because they're there and they're just over-treating. Antibiotics are expensive on a large scale. We'd rather have healthy birds and not use them. At home, we're relying on that person to pick up that product, follow the instructions precisely, and do a good job applying it. More mistakes can be made simply because they don't have as much practice in doing it. Most backyard flocks are simply, fun. It's nice to have a little meat and eggs on the side, but when we do something as a hobby, we don't have as much experience with it as we do. And then worse, and this is probably the biggest factor, there's probably some guessing going on about what's wrong with the animal in the first place. I always tell people, if you really want to know what your birds have, then you need to bring them to a healthcare professional and get them properly diagnosed with lab samples submitted. Otherwise, if you feel your birds aren't doing well and you grab an antibiotic off the shelf, who knows if it's the right one? A lot of times people buy them on price, or they buy them on ease of use, or they may buy an antibiotic when their birds have a virus. So, getting them properly diagnosed should be the first thing a small producer will do in the backyard. I think it's very important that people observe their animals as often as they can. Look for common symptoms. Look for anything that seems to be different about the birds. Try to relate those to past experiences. Try to write those down. Bring those to their healthcare professional. Find out what their opinion is. Get a proper diagnosis if they can. Then go back and use the treatment they've been given or they've purchased. Use it in the right manner. And if we do, and those instructions are based on research, and we know if there's a 3-day withdrawal time, we know we need a 3-day withdrawal time. And we know at that point, we'll have a safe food product. That's why we do that. And the other thing too is there's a lot of leeway in that. There's a lot of we go beyond what we need a lot of times in research to make sure we definitely do clear that drug residue.
Drug residue avoidance begins by working with your veterinarian to put into place best management practices, or BMPs, and standard operating procedures, or SOPs, for your farm or operation. Following the formation of these BMPs and SOPs, all employees and stakeholders must be regularly trained and adherence verified. Reading and following product label directions, maintaining good records, and adopting a quality assurance program that encompasses a wide array of topics from drug storage, administration techniques, and humane animal handling practices all contribute to maintaining the safest food supply chain in the world. Remembering tips like disinfecting the coop, quarantine sick animals, vaccinate if necessary, and being aware of the top chicken diseases will result in a better quality product. Thank you for viewing our module over drug residue avoidance. For more information regarding drug residues, continue watching this series of videos, or contact the Kansas Department of Agriculture at www.agriculture.ks.gov or at 785-564-6700.
So if we're going by the instructions and we're doing the right thing on the labels, then we have a good, safe food supply, and I'm confident I'll buy that product and use it, for food. So